How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 2 of the Put Your Kids to Bed podcast. I hope your kiddos are nice and snuggled in, and I hope you've got a nice glass of wine or whatever else you need to settle you in for the evening time.
Tea.
Thank you for tuning in wherever you are and whatever you're doing. I'm Michael.
Jamila.
And
Gibby coughing.
We just heard our son cough on the baby monitor, which is a little concerning. But episode 2.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
It's really difficult to watch these children gain like some independence with things. Like our 10-month-old little girl is just now at the point where she's like wanting to walk, and it's like she still needs us to walk, but as she's using us to walk, she's like literally using us. Like she's like, I've got things I want to do, places I want to go. Like, it's very bossy, independent, and she's just right on the verge of like being like, I don't need y'all.
Yeah, she is.
Kind of scary though.
What's scary about it?
I was telling you earlier, like I think there's like an innate thing in men, maybe, like just to feel needed. And like it is a little bit scary, like every new independent thing that they can do, it's convenient, but it's like, oh, they don't need me for that. You know, like our 5-year-old little boy, and we're trying to teach him really the bathroom stuff and like spending that time by himself and like having the autonomy to handle all of his business by himself. And for the most part, he's been pretty good about that. But today, he was like, Dad, can you come and sit with me? And everything in me is like, yeah, go do that. But then it's like, oh, that's not what we're doing. But like, I still do want to, like, you know, it's like my little boy.
He definitely wanted that time with you, though.
Yeah, but I felt like he needed something else.
What do you think he needed?
I felt like he wanted time with me, but he didn't need me in that situation. And so I'm learning that, like, he can have time with me outside of that.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be that. Like, he doesn't have to need me to have me. Does that make sense? He's at the age where he's, you know, where, like, you don't need help with something, but you ask for help just to hang out. Or just to have that time and attention. And so, like, letting him be autonomous with the things that he's able to do where he doesn't need us, and then letting him spend time with us in other ways. But anyway, all that just boils up to like, it's difficult to watch them grow up and not need you as much, but it is beautiful because they just develop confidence, you know?
Yeah. I have to remind myself that because I don't want to let go. Like with Ember getting her first tooth, with it finally making its way, and she's no longer gonna be gummy.
Her top gums are the cute part anyway, I think. So, as long as she keeps those, but how long?
I think it's it like the immersion of just the first tooth. That would be the word, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they're all just gonna start coming.
Just like a flood. Like once one is here, then all that's, and then she's got more teeth, and she's getting her license, and she's moving out the house. Like it just feels like it happens that kind of quickly. It feels like it.
Yeah.
So I was on an audit this week, and a lot of the places that I have to go have like gravel lots.
Yeah.
With tanks and stuff on them. And apparently, I didn't actually know this until the past couple years. There's like these little birds. I guess they're called, I heard somebody call them killdeer. I don't know, I have to look up. But they're like these little birds, and they happen to be birds that lay their nests like in the rocks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of going up in a tree and making a nest and everything, they build like a little nest in the rocks and stuff. And the eggs actually, they kind of blend in with the gravel, so like it's not crazy that you'd stumble into a nest.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just these little birds that are going on the ground, and they, whenever you start to get closer to the nest, they start to squawk at you a little bit because their nest is near.
Mm-hmm.
But we saw that one was near, and it did the coolest thing. It's like natural instinct is to pretend like it has a broken wing and hop and lead you away from the nest.
Mm-hmm.
So it was literally like spreading out and like, no kidding. If I can find a video, I'll include the video in here, but
Oh no, it's injured. No, it's not. This nest is here.
So this is what happens. They do this little dance when you get close to their eggs, and you see the eggs there. But Mama is really worried that I'm gonna hurt her nest.
it like pretends like it has a broken wing and like leads you
Broken
away from.
chicken
So
wing,
the
yeah.
nest is like over here, and the driver said actually they'd put cylinder blocks around the nest so that people knew where it was.
Yeah.
But the nest is over here, and the bird is like leading us over this direction, pretending like it has a broken wing, like leading the predator away from its babies, which is completely the opposite of like rabbits.
Here you go. Here you go.
We'll find rabbit burrows, and they'll just like burrow in the middle of the yard, and God forbid you run over them with a lawnmower. There's lots of casualties like that. But the moment that you come near that nest, Mama Rabbit's gone. She's like, forget those babies.
She did.
I don't care. She has
Hey.
no maternal instinct to protect the babies.
But that rabbit didn't go too far. That
It
mama
was
didn't
over
go
there
too
eating somewhere
far.
else. It wasn't leading you away. It was,
I don't even
it
think
was
she was
saving
eating.
itself. Okay, so compare that against these little birds that are literally leading the predator away and gonna sacrifice themselves.
Maybe that's what she was trying to do.
So their baby, no.
She did.
She was saving herself.
Hey, but I did watch the little baby rabbits like dig deeper into the burrow.
Try to hide,
They were
but-
up feeding.
But
Yeah,
those
they
are
tried
completely
to-
different instincts. Like one is like, I'm gonna protect my babies. And the other instinct is completely, let me save myself. I can have more babies. And I mean, we're probably giving the animals a lot of credit to be thinking, but I just thought that was crazy
It's
that
in us.
not just to lead the predator away, but to pretend like you have a broken wing
That's
and put on this whole performance to gather their attention and to make them pursue you. Because if you just fly away or you just hop away, they're not going to pursue you. But if they think you're wounded, because a predator is going after this, the reason why
Isn't that like an emotional manipulation?
yes, but it's amazing. Think about this. A predator, and it's the reason why I think the most scary thing about having kids, a predator is interested in the most vulnerable prey. So when you look at like,
That's true.
when our son
be
likes
watching
to
the
watch
wolves.
our son likes to watch animal stuff, and so we've watched a fair share of animal shows on everything. But whenever you watch like these packs hunt, They're always after the stragglers, the ones that are already wounded, or the ones that are malnourished, the ones that are
The
super
babies.
old, or the babies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing as humans, I think. Who are the people that get preyed upon? They're the elderly. People get preyed upon. They get scammed out of money all the time. They get abused and beaten up in homes and nursing homes and all these places. They get robbed. They get, believe it or not, you wouldn't think this, but some of the people that encounter the most like sexual abuse are actually elderly people, which is crazy.
That is crazy. That's so sick. But honestly, they're like children, you
And
know?
then
like,
children, right? And you just think about they're these vulnerable, innocent creatures, and our instinct is to protect them and shield them from the world because we understand how ugly the world is. Not to say the world is all ugly, there's plenty of good in the world, but we understand that there is that element. And so for that to be instinctual for those birds to know that these are the most vulnerable thing, a predator is always going to go for the most vulnerable thing. So let me make myself more vulnerable, or at least appear more vulnerable, so that they pick me. That's
that
like
is, yeah.
mom jumping in front of a moving car
Mm-hmm.
so that it hits her instead of the babies, like level stuff.
Yeah. You're going to have to figure out what the actual name is so we can
I'll
look that up because that's really neat.
I'll look it up and find a video and put it in here, include it in here. But
Yeah.
what kind of instincts do you feel like you have that are like, or have you been in a situation where you feel like your innate instincts have kicked in beyond just like your brain, like just something natural in you, just like?
Thankfully it hasn't. I don't feel like we've been preyed on,
Yeah.
but
Do you feel like
I
you have
mean-
natural, like there's natural things in you where it's just like, or like since having a
you're
child?
putting me on the spot.
No, but like, are you? Is there something different, like instinctually in you, like
Yeah.
now that you have children versus what you were before?
Yeah.
Because you were like, explain to them how you were like as a person before. Like, I'm gonna leave my car unlocked, leave the keys in the car, like kind of.
I didn't do that.
Okay. What
I
were
never
your
did that.
What were your instincts like? What was your situational awareness like?
I will agree that it has gotten better since I've met you and also having kids. And we've also had our conversations about certain things that could have been dangerous, like shoulda, woulda, coulda kind of things. And then you're just like, hey, like, think about this. But
you do have like some maternal. I wouldn't say just maternal. I would just say like
I do.
I feel like having a kid like brings out instincts, like your connection with our babies. Like, I know there's something wrong. Like, I know that they're, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Which is not a mental
where
thing.
I was going with that, like the whole like choking thing. Like, I know whenever homegirl is like, there really is something stuck there.
Versus her just going,
Yeah.
give me attention.
Pat my chest.
Right.
Water. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's been the opportunity to actually learn them, learn who they are, and just stay dancing with them kind of thing. Like the whole connection. And And then I know what they need in that moment. Like, for instance, like Gib, if he got sick or if he was starting to get sick, like he'll tell me now, but like before that,
Like,
yeah, just off behavior kind of thing.
the difference between maybe mammals and other animals, like animals that give, I don't know, it's deeper than just animals that give live birth, but like the animals that actually develop deep relationships with their offsprings, like rabbits don't develop deep relationships with their babies. Birds, to some degree,
Why
do.
is that though?
Because of the fact that they grow so quickly and they're gone so quickly. It's not like if you think of like a deer,
Because they like constantly have babies often?
they reproduce. Oh, they have a bunch of it at a
Rapidly.
time, and they reproduce frequently, and then the rabbits grow up quickly. Versus like a
Yeah.
deer, like how long does it take a deer to like mature? So you see a baby deer, and it takes a little bit of time that you have to spend with the mom, like more than just a year, more than just some months. You know, there's lots of creatures that have a baby and they're only with their parents for like their mom for like a month or maybe 2 months, and then they're off on their own. Versus like you think of something like deer, you think of like horses, you think of cows, you think of sheep, you think of
I've never really got to study animals like that though. That would be a very interesting career or just hobby.
like, can you imagine? Now I'm putting it in perspective. Can you imagine like if Nemo's dad was just like, yeah, he's we lost him. We're good.
Yeah.
On to the next one. Like, we lost that one. Let me find a new wife. Have some more babies. We're good.
Yeah.
Which is totally the.
I mean, but like, you see how many eggs there was before? Think about that.
What's that movie? The Wild Rabbit? The Wild Robot with the possum? Oh, the lost one.
Yeah. Yeah. Something came and ate it. And then
Well,
and then the baby came back. It was like, "Mom, I'm okay." She was like, "Oh, yay." Yeah. You know, you think about that too with
But we have such deep relationships. I mean, we really are relational creatures. And there's
Yeah.
other animals that exist in the kingdom that form much deeper bonds. But it's crazy how like there is this innate connection that you do develop with your offspring. That like like definitely with Ember, you're in tune with that. Like, you know, whenever something's going on with her, you know, whenever she's tired, whenever you just know. And even though she can't even communicate for herself, she's getting to a point where she can kind of give us signs. But even when she was a very baby and she couldn't communicate anything, you're like, this is what's wrong with her. Or if I don't know what's wrong with her, I know something is wrong with her.
yeah.
Which is powerful,
Really,
I think.
it is. It's really neat. It's just makes me think like just the opportunity that we're given to
Borrow them for a little bit.
experience them. Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about these frustrating moments.
Okay. Like what?
I think it's just whenever we're tired. I think it's just emotional awareness that we've been lacking. Yeah.
Thinking just when you said that, I was thinking of the P's. Patience. Presence. And then purpose. 3 P's. That PPP loan. By the way, for the record, U.S. government, we didn't take no PPP loans. But patience, like when you lack patience, you're already like the first entry point is patience, right? And then with the patience, you're able to be present. And then the third, when you're able to be present, you're able to move with purpose, which is intentionality, but you gotta keep it with the peace. So we'll say purpose. But first, patience leads to presence, leads to purposeful movement. And so
Patience is a skill.
the point is, if you miss any of those entry points, that's where the train goes off it has to flow in that order, it's got to flow through that. And so the place where we get off the rails most of the time is patience. Whether we're tired, whether we're, it's just been a long day, overwhelmed, whatever. Patience is usually the thing. But every once in a while, we'll have the patience, but then something else is pulling us out of being present. And every once in a while, rare, but every once in a while, we'll have the patience. We'll be firmly planted in the present, phones away, not being pulled out, just there. But the way that we move will be without purposeful movement, without intention.
Yeah.
And so I think that has to be a thing that I'm thinking as you're talking about this, that we that's the check-in that you have to do with yourself when you feel like you're starting to get frustrated. Like, am I checking all, am I checking all the P's?
So I know that this is a alone kind of thing, but I think we should hold each other accountable.
Totally.
So what's gonna be our little tap?
A literal tap.
I think there should be some kind of word.
Word?
Yeah.
You mean like I got a pee-pee?
PPP loan.
I need a loan.
PPP loan.
I think you need a loan.
You know what? No, that's good. That's good. I think you
some
need a
energy.
loan. Yeah, let me some of this energy.
Because you have noticed, because you've called it out, how much power we have going both directions to be able to just redirect the energy. Like if you're in a good place, or if you're able to not mirror me, which I'm really bad about that. Like if you get really frustrated of trying to de-escalate instead of escalating, because I get into this let me come save the day.
Yeah.
Your point's not getting across, so let me put my foot down.
Yeah.
Instead of being the yin to your yang and being the opposite of whatever you are. So if you're flustered and whatever, if you're big emotions and me being the calming presence and vice versa, just trying to be that other thing.
So model.
It's more than just model though, I think.
Oh, homegirl's awake.
We put our kids to bed. The question is, did you put your kids to bed?
Yeah. Oh, so it's more than model.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's back to those things of can you be intentional with your contribution?
I definitely think it's the choice. I was listening to a podcast today, and a guy was talking about how it's our choice. The authentic power is us choosing the high road of love instead of the opposite
Easier said than done.
hate or like just like the lower vibration, you know?
I think
Like- Yeah.
we always highlight how kids bring out this better version of you. And to some degree, that's true. Like, kids do bring out this, like, they challenge you, they test you, they bring out this space in your heart that you didn't even know you had. And then every kid that you have, you're like, I don't know, because I don't have any more room. And then magically, like, there's a whole new wing of your heart. And it's just like, okay, well, I made room. But we always talk about the positives, but like, we don't talk about the fact that like kids are also able to bring out the worst in you. They're also able to push like all of these triggers and to stir up trauma and all these other things in you.
Just unhealed stuff. I feel like.
Some of it's unhealed, but also just some of it's I would just say like you can have a gravel road and it is what it's supposed to be. But when you come barreling down the gravel road going 70 miles an hour, then you create a dust storm that was never supposed to be there. It's not that there was anything wrong with the gravel road. It's just that whenever you come speeding down it, you're going to create turmoil in what was peaceful. You know what I mean?
Besides going 20 down.
Or not driving down the road at all. The point is that they're
Popping
able
your
to
tire.
they're able to stir they're able to stir stuff up in us.
Okay. Gotta go.
All right. The next time that we have a podcast, we're going to talk probably a little bit more about this. And we're also going to talk about my newfound addiction and whether it's healthy or not. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.